In this video, I'm going to show you how I made a charcuterie board with laminated Bentwood handles. Here are the three boards I'll be using. I have Padauk, walnut, and ambrosia maple. I'm going to start by cutting these boards to their rough length. The charcuterie board is 12 by 18, so I'm going to cut these boards to 19 inches. After that, it is time to joint and run the boards through the thickness planer. The customer wanted a cutting board design like the one shown in the picture here, so that is the pattern we are going to recreate. And after all that, it is time for the glue up. As you can tell, making a charcuterie board is just making a standard cutting board, and we are going to be putting handles onto it. After glue up, I am going to skip plane this board through the thickness planer, and I'll cut it to size. I am going to fill any of the holes in the ambrosia maple with CA glue. I'll sand to 220 grit, and I'll router an edge on. Close it. The first thing I need to do to make the handle is to cut strips of wood in the bandsaw that I can later bend into the shape I want for the handle. And after I cut the amount of strips I want in the bandsaw, I'm going to run them through a thickness drum sander, and I'm going to get them to a thickness of about 0.6 millimeters. I've found that this is about the thickest or the thinnest I can sand them to where they're still flexible and I don't have to steam them to bend them. In this next section, I'm going to go into detail on how I drew the shape for my handle. It's long and detailed. If you want the short version of it, draw your shape on a piece of wood. I chose a 2x4 and cut it out in the bandsaw. To make the form for your handle, you'll want a piece of wood you can cut in your bandsaw for your shape. I'm just going to use a 2x4 that is cut to the same width as the charcuterie board, which is 12 inches. I'm going to use an adjustable square, framing square, a tape measure, a pencil, and something round to make your curves. All you want to do is mark off how big you want your handle to be and trace it out on the 2x4, and this will allow you to cut it in a bandsaw and make a form that you can compress your strips of wood in to form your handle. I'm going to start out by marking 3/4 of an inch off the bottom, and this is going to be a reference for the bottom of the handle where the curve will end and the flat part that'll get screwed into the charcuterie board. And I'll want to do the same thing to the top, to where I want the bottom of the handle to end. And I'm going to do the same thing and mark 3/4 of an inch. And this will give me the space of the height of my handle to where you can put your hand in. Now we want to find the center, which this is 12 inches wide, so I have a 6-inch center. And then I want to figure out the total length of the handle, and that is going to be 10 inches. need to mark for the flat spot on the handle that'll attach to the charcuterie board, and I'm going to make mine 3/4 inches wide. And then we want to mark the width of the top part of the handle before it starts to curve, and I'm going to mark that at 5 inches wide. Now, depending on the size of your board, you can you just adjust these measurements as you go, depending on the width of your handle. And after that, all we're wanting to do is connect these points, and you can do those however you want. With something round, you can draw curves, and you can connect those curves. And all the lines help you line up and depending on how you want to do it, you can freehand or you can continue to use the cap. So that'll give me my rough shape. I'm gonna make sure these curves are nice and rounded. And then you can just connect your lines. And you can refine your shape. And there's our handle. We're going to go cut that at the bandsaw. Now that you have your form cut, you just need to separate how you want to glue your pieces together. And I ended up cutting an extra walnut and an extra maple, and I'm going to glue these together, 3 walnut, 2 padauk, and 3 maple. Maple's going to be the top, so I'm going to pick the one that's got the best character to it. Now I'm going to tape off the tops and bottom of the form. That way the other wood doesn't stick to it. Okay. And after that, you just want to add glue to all your pieces. I'm going to clamp this directly to the workbench. So you just want to line up where you want your center to be. I want this to be on the top of the handle. And I'm going to use bar clamps to clamp these down. And make sure you line your pieces back up after you start clamping, because they do want to move on you. And we should be good. And here is both handles, and they are ready to be shaped. For handle placement, I think I'm just going to measure where I want them to stop, and then I'll transfer the marks onto the handle. I'm going to measure the center of the board, which is 6 inches. I'm going to measure, I think I'm going to measure 3/4 inches in on each side. So I'm going to make them a little bit bigger than I originally planned. Okay. I'm going to get rough center here. So roughly 2.5 inches. I think it's a little bit bigger than that. Roughly get the center. So I can line that up. Make my cuts here and here. And then I'll transfer those onto the other one. And now I'm going to use the belt sander and sand these sides flush and to the width that I would like. Okay, and after that, I'm going to flatten the bottoms. That flat bottom will give a nice glue surface to the charcuterie board. And then I'm going to clean up all these curves on the end of the belt sander. we just have to do some hand sanding. And here is a rough look with them on. They're going to be attached with glue on the bottom and with 2 dowels we are going to drill through and have those glued into the handles and the board. Okay, handles are sanded. I just rounded over the edges. And now it is time to glue them down. I am gonna first glue them, and then after that I will drill my holes to place the dowels. And I'm just gonna use these squeeze clamps to hold the handles in place. And here is both handles glued on. They seem to hold well, but I am going to put I'm going to drill for a dowel, and I'm going to do that. Instead of doing 2 each, I'm going to do 1 on each end. And I'm going to do that real quick with a simple plug cutter and some walnut. And I'll just cut those out on the bandsaw. And here are those plugs. And I'm also going to drill a relief hole for the glue through the center of each hole that will come out the back. And that little bit of glue comes out of the back. Clean that up. We'll let those dry and we can sand them flat. Okay, the pins are in and they are dry, and they just need to be sanded down. And the last thing I'm going to do before I do a final sand is cut the wood feet. So I glued this up off camera. It's got all 3 woods in it. I'm going to cut out 1.5 inch circles, and those will get screwed into the bottom with stainless steel screws. And here are the feet I made. And those will be put in with stainless steel screws. And the last thing that needs to be done is mineral oil. And here is the finished board. I think everything turned out great. I did deliver this to the customer, and him and his wife were very happy with it. If you like the laminated Bentwood handles or have any suggestions, please leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.